What's crack-a-lackin', y'all?
Not much. Are you talking to me or other people?
You know who I'm talking to, my guys.
I just asked who you were talking to, and you didn't really respond.
What are questions besides a social construct? You know what I'm saying?
Sure. What are you here to say?
Speaking of social constructs, you know what I love to do on a cold February morning?
Beat that record, if you get my drift.
grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Some Jergens, maybe a couple tissues, and then open up my Spotify app and pull up a little Don't Wake Daddy.
Oh.
This week. We just real quick wanted to jump in and give a shout out to our boys.
Yeah, man. This week, the last week, I guess, they put out their 35th episode in a row. Hey. They didn't take a bullshit 2-month break like we did.
True.
Yeah.
They still like each other, but we'll see. Okay,
for real.
It's been a long year. So
35. I talked to Stuke, and I was like, man, that is a serious accomplishment for sure. 35 weeks.
Super.
Basically 35 straight hours of just banger material.
I mean, just to get that much content out on the internet anyway and to stick with it and to be good quality content the way that their podcast is, to be interesting and fun the whole way through. Yeah. I mean, it's super impressive. Yep. If you have not listened or subscribed, excuse me, jump on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere you can get your podcasts and check out Don't Wake Daddy. Yep. They've got plenty of great reviews because their fans actually care about them.
Honestly, the moment that they started their podcast, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like, they're trying, we're already established, like, whatever.
Yep.
But then, like, a day later, I was like, how come people like them more than us? Like, what the fuck's happening?
Why do they have 17 5-star reviews? And we've got 2 3-star reviews, which I know Steph wrote both of them, okay?
It was fucking Cher Jenkins and Velveeta
Cher Jenkins and Velveeta Soldier. So that's still my burner account on Twitter. But anyways,
awesome.
Leave us rate our podcast.
Don't listen to them.
Don't
listen to them. Listen to us.
Yeah, listen to us. And then when you're done listening to us, listen to them.
Yeah.
But don't listen too much or you'll enjoy them more than you like us. So
they're a great show. You guys should definitely check them out. 35 episodes isn't a mistake. I feel like 2 or 3 they could have stopped and it would have been like, we knew it was a flash in the pan. 35, they're coming up at us, bro. This is our 70th episode,
impressed.
So they're like halfway there. They're halfway as funny as well. So that's one of the things that I don't know why we can't just agree to say nice things.
Yeah. Before the camera turns on, we're like, God, just the best group of people. Couldn't imagine being friends with anyone kinder and more talented and funny. Nope. But since we're on camera, I mean us.
Yeah.
I was speaking from their point of view. We're awesome and funny and kind, and they're kind of.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Kinda,
so if you
kind of
want to laugh, go check them out. No,
they're great. Check them out and. Please stick around for the rest of the episode.
We get into some deep subjects.
I swear we stay on topic. Yeah.
And Robbie, something's going on with his chest, so you'll see what happens.
Yeah.
There. So
smooth criminal.
Thanks for listening. Let's start a show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Happy or sad, it's story time with 2 Fuggin Idiots.
All right. So the other day, I told you guys that a coworker had come up to me and was like, hey, I was just listening to your podcast. And I was like, why? Like, why would you purposely do that to yourself? But obviously felt super excited, flattered almost, very cool. I saw him a couple of days later and he said nothing to me. So I was just going to say, it probably ends here. I'm just going to tell him, thanks for the help. But obviously, it wasn't a banger enough for him to follow up.
Come back for more, yeah.
If he hears this, I'm sure he's gonna be like, "Damn it, I don't know."
Whatever his name is, like Nathaniel or Nat for short.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, it's funny because it's like we enjoy listening to our podcast because we're self-obsessed. And for sure think that no one else appreciates how hilarious we are all the time, even though we know that we are.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so you and I talk about this every now and then. But whenever we're like in a group of people, we tend to just, and not even on purpose, but just we take over, just word vomit. And it's not even always that we are the most entertaining, even though we definitely are, but it's just that like we can't, like, once my mouth starts moving, I can't hit the off switch.
The moment that somebody else is telling an inferior story, I'm like, if he fucking gulps one time and he leaves like a segment of like silence, I am going to butt in and be like, listen to this story. Like,
exactly.
That's a cool one, but I got a better story. And like, oh man, it's horrible.
I know. I'll catch myself listening to a story and being like, don't respond with a story. Just tell this person how cool this was, you know?
Not
because
possible.
we hang out with interesting. Last night I hung out with Stuke, Danielle, and Joe, and it's like they're all super funny and super fun to be around and interesting, you know. And I'll catch myself, and I don't know. I used to make fun of my dad for this because someone could be like, "Yeah, I choked on a ravioli," and he's like, "Yeah, I was eating ravioli one time in Denmark, right?" And this Russian mobster walks up, and you're like, How do you have a story for every situation, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've done a lot of crazy shit and I have a lot of crazy stories.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be a one-upper, you know? I don't want to be the guy that's like,
for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, but let me tell you an actually interesting story.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. It's a rough thing, man. When you're this fantastic, it's hard to just put the brakes on. I do have to tell myself, just like you're saying, like, just let them think that they're funny.
Be present.
just let them have this moment and try not to stomp on it until like the next hour. Like don't make them, don't let them know that they're inferior. That's the second time I've said that already, but
exactly.
Just in general.
Yeah. You're sounding a lot you're sounding pretty Zeke-ish right now about how and I mean, the truth is that we are just two fucking idiots.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is our podcast, and we welcome you back to it.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. I'm Robbie.
I'm Jordan, and we're the two fucking idiots.
Two fucking idiots.
I don't know. Trying to get better.
Out,
trying to get better at introducing ourselves. I did mention to Stuke the other night when I talked to him that the one thing about their podcast, besides it just seeming to never have like the potential that ours does.
Sure. I thought you were for sure gonna compliment him.
I think I was
gonna.
I think I was going to, and then like halfway through, I was like, I'm gonna destroy them. I don't want to say anything.
I was saving up a diss. I was like ready to counteract it, but you caught me completely off guard. So what's the only good thing about their podcast? Yeah,
their structure is like amazing to me because we have none. Like literally, we talk for 5 minutes before we record, and then we may or may not even follow this slight structure that we've even worked out. So I was like, dude, it's really awesome. Like I know what to expect when I hear you guys, and it's like you guys are
safe. Boring, you know what I mean?
I was like, oh man, I feel like this is not sounding good, but. Anyway, their
podcast? Well, that's a little too far, Jordan.
I'm just saying.
We just complimented them like 2 minutes ago.
My like backhanded, like sort of compliment. Like I'm sure you could have read it either way, so I didn't want to say anything else. But Stuke, he's just like super self-deprecating, so he's probably like, I get it. Like he's just like whatever.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, how could he not with the discrepancy in our podcast? So, no, that reminds me when I was hanging with him last night. Joe kept, like we obviously razz each other. And so I kept, being like, yeah, well, he did move on from a certain band to kind of get with the newer, hotter band in the high school, the popular girl.
Yeah.
Definite change.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I think he said we sounded like, Puddle of Mud or something like that. He was like, you guys sound like Puddle of Mud.
God
and
damn
I
it.
agreed for a second, and then the more I listened, I was like, no, we fucking didn't,
No.
okay? maybe a little Avenged Sevenfold, maybe a little Shine. Like, we had our influences, but...
Yeah.
And so then we were just razzing back and forth, and eventually he, like, made a joke, and he just mentioned my voice, and he didn't even say anything bad, and before he could, I was like, don't fucking start talking about the voice, okay? We're not talking about her singing Tom DeLonge, all right? Take a breath.
Yeah,
we were just... and
for those of you who don't understand the story, we were in a band.
Yeah.
Robbie and I and Marino were in a band in high school, and then we needed a drummer, and Marino was
Let's
like...
pay homage to James Guest, Pat Yates, Billy Withers,
all sorts of drummers.
Tyler Zumbrock, I think, played once with us.
I think so. I think so.
Got to give him their props. But then we met someone great.
Yeah, we needed a drummer, and Marino was like, my inferior cousin, there it is again. He's a drummer.
Damn.
He's a couple, I think he's, 2 years old or younger than him?
A year younger than us.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 than him.
He's 2 years younger, but he's a good drummer, whatever. So we, let him try out, and first of all, he knew all of our songs, which was fucking amazing, and we just clicked. He's a fucking cool guy. So we basically stole him from his childhood band that he was in.
I cleared it up last night. He had been out of the band for a month or two.
Was it?
When we snagged him, and I was like, where was Marino with this information about his cousin, who's the most fun to watch, best drummer I've ever met in my life?
Yeah, exactly. There was a real feud between those groups of people. There was some animosity towards them. So we were all of a sudden on Stuke's side and Danielle's side, and it was awkward. But then 3 years later, we joined a band together with everybody.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Super group.
The conversation, literally, the conversation went from last night, and this is what I love about our friends, right? Mm-hmm. We went from me discussing the size of my friends' penises to how your and Joe's chemistry was so good when it came to writing music, and he was like, I think we just knew what we expected from each other, so when he wrote something, I kind of knew what he wanted, and it worked out. And then to me stealing lyrics for Definite Change. And then we rounded off the night after 4 hours of hanging out at this brewery with Russia versus Ukraine and the Trump campaign and Bernie Sanders getting screwed by the Democratic convention. It was just, I'm exhausted. I feel recharged because I haven't hung out with anyone any of my friends in probably a month. I've just been busy.
Sure.
But I'm also exhausted from 4 hours of me being oh, that reminds me of that one time. Yeah. Oh no, we can't tell that story on the podcast because people would find out some stuff about us they can't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And Stuke's you reference that story often, and I pick up on it. And I'm we sure do, Stuke. So
no,
anyway.
I'm with you, man. I actually, when you talked to me yesterday and told me you were going to hang out with those guys, I looked at stuff and I was kind of bummed. I wish I could go out with you guys, but obviously super far away. So what are you going to do?
Hold on. Before we move on, it's I'm a little hot, so just give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me just pop this on.
Oh, what? Whoa. Whoa.
Check that out.
That
you see
is
those goose pimples?
That is baby smooth.
That's a sexy ass chest, ain't it? Oh man.
Yeah. So you want to tell that story, and then I don't know. Do you want to we have some video of it, obviously, and do you want to splice it in the middle, or do you want to just put it out as its own video?
I think we should maybe put it out as its own video. We could splice in a few things. If you follow us on Instagram, you might have saw I posted. Did you see it? That I posted a couple stories?
I did see. I was busy coding because that's my life now. And I saw somebody a friend of a friend of a friend was liked your story. Weebs. And I was like, we have a story? I looked up and I was like, oh my God, here it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as you most likely know, Jordan and I made a bet on the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And the Rams weren't good enough to win by 4. Those sons of bitches. Yeah.
Stuke was actually I'm surprised you guys chose teams. And then Robbie was like, well, I'll give you the points. And I was like, thank God he fucking did.
I know. Well, it was the only fair way. I felt like, like
it was pretty
there's
close.
a reason why. Yeah, it was really close. We were 1 point away from just a tie. No one having to go through this fucking trauma that I went through last night.
Yeah.
So I owed Jordan a waxed chest, my chest, waxed.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, not like a bunch of people jumping out of the woodwork to volunteer to wax my chest.
Yeah.
So
I guess we didn't really discuss it before you brought it up on the pod, but afterwards, I definitely threw it out to Steph and no one else because I wouldn't want anybody else to be doing that to me. But she was not really gung-ho about it, which I would assume like inflicting some sort of physical pain on me would be like a delight for her.
I dream about it almost every day. So
yeah. So, and you had the similar situation. Nobody wanted to do it by you either.
But, well, the good news is that Danielle is a fucking psychopath and lives for other people's pain.
Yeah.
And I say that with so much love.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little residual left over from last night. But, like, you'll see in the video, and maybe we'll post a couple clips on Instagram over the next couple days. But I went into it, like, trying to be funny and just completely devolved from there. Like, the whole experience was actually very painful.
Yeah.
And it was still funny, but it was like I was sweating my ass off. I've got two like Stuke set up lights so the lighting was good in the video.
Yeah.
And he's recording. I feel like I'm in some weird fucking fetish porn.
You're in Hostel
like
7.
Waxing. Yeah, seriously. And for me, after a couple of them, I'm like, I wasn't thinking, I don't care how it looks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, after a few swipes, I'm like, we're pretty good, right? And Danielle's like, no, we're not good. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
She's like, we're doing the whole chest. And I'm like, did Jordan pay you or something? What is going on here? And she's
Love you,
just like,
Danielle.
no, we're not doing the half-ass work. Yeah.
That's
And
hilarious.
so I didn't realize that there's hair up here, you know?
Yeah.
So she's like, lift your neck up, and then puts one like right
She
here.
should have put one right across the beard and just,
Dude,
one swipe.
I don't know, man. That might have been like, I might have screamed and cried and laughed.
Beard
I
hair
was
is
so
like
upset, but-
coarse. Like that would be the worst. That would be the
Well,
worst.
when we looked at it, yeah, we're like, oh, I don't have that. You don't have that much chest hair is what we were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I do have chest hair, but I used to be blonde. So I don't know. My hair is kind of fair. It's not,
Sure.
It's kind of soft, you know,
Sure.
It's not bushy.
Yeah.
So it still hurt. And we had to I still have like it looks like a hickey over here.
That's hilarious.
It was literally insane, and it was really funny. And I think the video, I hope it's funny, because if it doesn't get any views, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. But if it does get views, we're doing the back, bro.
Okay.
Like let's go. I'll whore myself out for some content.
I feel like the back would be like almost less painful, but maybe more. I don't really know. I feel like your chest is like pretty sensitive, right?
I think both of them hurt really fucking bad, honestly.
It's the
Way
price
more
for
than I
beauty,
thought.
man. Price of beauty.
Hey, and I obviously know all about that. So
Yeah.
what's funny?
There's a lot. No, nothing at all. Not
So
Nope.
why are you laughing when I say that?
Never happened.
Okay. Sounded a lot like you. Anyway, so that was my Saturday night.
Yeah.
Politics and getting my chest hair waxed.
So did you do the?
Some-
I'm assuming you did the waxing before you went out, right?
Yes.
Was it like?
Yes.
Were you wearing like a silk shirt or something where you could really feel like, oh yeah?
You know, I did not plan ahead, unfortunately for that. But
You had a wool
it
sweater
did
on.
inspire me. Yeah, well, I had just taken one off, so I put another one on, you know. But Danielle's like, listen, which I don't want to maybe put too many people's business on blast, but we potentially might be taking a trip to a place called Greece sometime in the summer, as long as World War III isn't happening.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. My mom was like, I don't want you going if there's a war. I was like, okay, Mom, I get it. She's like, you can't get stuck there, Rob. You can't get stuck. I'm
Why-
like, okay,
why-
I know. What?
Every time you talk like with her voice, she's never happy. Like she's always like
No.
scared or distraught. or like bothered every time. I thought you were gonna do your chores. Like
exactly. I was like, hey mom, here's $1 million. She's like,
I have to pay taxes.
Why isn't it $2 million? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, because I was trying to think of something good. But yeah, so she's like, we'll do it a week before Greece. And then that's where I'll wear my silky shirts with like a gold. I need like a gold cross.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if it's for the green card. I'm coming home with a Greek bride.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm past the point of romance. I just need some goddamn company. Okay. I just want someone I can talk to for a couple minutes every day.
Yeah.
All right.
I got you.
That's all I'm asking for. I'm fine.
Well,
what were you?
Sounded like a fun Saturday, bro. I went
nice.
for dinner with Jared and Kristen. Steph was also there, but whatever.
Of course.
And we went to the mall.
You're like Steph. You stay
That's
here.
where, she decided to come along. We went to Cheesecake Factory, which I'll get to that eventually at some point in this pod. I'm not a big fan of Cheesecake Factory.
Really?
There are 7,000 items on that menu, and even when I wasn't doing keto, I just never hit it out of the park. No matter what I select, it's like, a bacon burger with olives or something. I'm like, I don't want that. Like, it's just something weird. I don't know what it is. I've ordered pasta there. I've ordered salads there. Every time we go there, I'm just not that excited about what I chose, and it's starting to make me like really not enjoy having to choose. So but I did get a steak that day and it was fine. Anyway, we were at the mall. Nice. We go there and they told us like a 50-minute wait or something like that. So we were walking around the mall.
Damn.
And I walked by Hot Topic. Now this is a store that I've gone into, I don't know,
bro,
hundreds of times in Gurney Mills.
Is that a dick in your ear, bro?
Yeah,
we know. We love Hot Topic.
We've been there so many times that I was like, you know what? I got time to spare. Like maybe there's a cool band T-shirt that I haven't looked at or something, So I walk in there, and like Hot Topic's always been kind of odd at times. Like they got like the body piercing section and like the fucking Zelda
penis
section.
Pumps. Yeah.
They just have like weird stuff, but they've always, to me at least, been like a band shirt place. Band stuff and other inappropriate items. And I walk in and it's all anime, dude. Like the entire store is all anime or manga or whatever the fuck you call it. And I don't understand what happened. Like, did they transition to that, or there's some like Reno weebs that are like, listen, I know what you need to do for your store. Like, get rid of fucking pop punk T-shirts, and we need to see Speed Racer and fucking Pokemon together on the same T-shirt.
When we were kids, rock bands had like heroin addictions and like went to prison. And so they had to get new singers. You know what I mean? Like, but nowadays they're just like, man, I spent all my money on cartoon porn, which
it's an NFT,
I get.
Bro.
Yeah, seriously. I totally understand that because, and I'll say it again, and you can keep thinking I'm joking, but I for sure enjoy a little bit of sexy Japanese comics. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Those comic boobs are
very
big, they're huge.
Very voluptuous.
Yes, they're great. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say that kids are soft because who knows? They're like, I feel like kids would destroy us these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Mentally, at least.
The only 3 bands that I even saw on the entire wall of bands, or where I would associate with bands, was the Misfits, who I don't really know them because they were old as fuck when I was young as fuck. Korn, which I do know, and Slipknot. Those are the only 3 that I even associated with bands. I was like, there's not even like anything, like there's no Queen, there's no nothing. I don't know what's going on. It's just like very flowery anime related T-shirts. I don't know what the hell's happening. A lot of small backpacks. I don't know. I feel like that's an anime thing.
Like, what can you even put in there? You know what I'm saying?
A Game Boy. That's it. That's the only thing you can put in there.
How small are your books?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just for your phone because that's what you have everything on these days. crazy that those are the 3 bands that withstood the test of time, you know.
Exactly.
I'm imagining like a 13 or 14-year-old kid reading his manga from back to front, apparently, because I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I don't quite understand.
Somebody got that for like a Christmas gift in front of me. They were like a kid, and she was reading the back, and I was like, "What the fuck is she doing?" And somebody's like, "That's how you read it." Yeah, that's how you read it. And I was like, that's literally ass backwards. Like that's literally.
I would accidentally read the end of the story first. I'd be like, oh, I'd be like, why are they walking backwards in this alley? Like,
I don't know, man.
No, I'm just imagining them like, you know, reading it back to front and like taking off their cat ears and their tiny backpack and setting it next to their bed.
Yeah.
And being like,
what about their tail? What about their tail?
Yeah. No, that stays on. Okay. That's part of them. That's a little closer to the chest.
Sure.
But and they're like, man, I'm in a really good mood. What music should I listen to?
Yeah.
And they're like, Joey Gladstone or whatever the fuck that guy's name is from Korn. And they're like, let's just pop in some terrifying music.
Yeah.
Or punk music from 1963. Like, which one? Those are your only two options. Those are the
only two we can choose from. Yeah, man. I was kind of bummed because I was looking forward to just like, I don't know. I always liked that store. It was like kind of cool in there. I walked in, the music was super loud. I didn't understand anything that was going on, and I walked right back out. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm old. And that brings me really to our final point of this podcast. Robbie and I were talking on the phone the other day, and I think you were talking about your arm being sore.
Yes.
Just because of...
I can't lift it.
Like, it was like a couple podcasts ago you mentioned that your arm was sore. So we were talking about that, and I just had a thought. How the fuck did we get so old so quick? Like how
so fast, man.
Dude, like 5 years ago, I feel like we could have, I didn't say we did this. We could have joined like a 10K where you got to like jump over fucking boulders and like an adventure. And now I'm like getting off the couch. I'm like, I better not get winded this time. Like I don't want to do this.
I could not agree more.
I don't know what happened.
The problem is in my head. I can still accomplish those things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I still would love to run a marathon someday.
Yeah.
But it's like the clock's fucking ticking, bro. You gotta get some weight off these knees, or you're not gonna be walking from room to room soon. You know, like, there's a
work thing that we're doing in like a couple of weeks. It's like in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament we're going to do, which I'm excited about because. Whether people know it or not, like I'm sort of good at basketball.
You're
like I'm
good at basketball.
I wouldn't say like I'm, hot sauce at this point, but that's a fucking callback, bro. That show is fucking 32 years old.
Is that a little and one fucking?
Yeah, I'm not that good, but I played basketball. I mean, I definitely understand the rules. I can probably dribble better than like the average person.
Yeah,
I for sure
the professor.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I for sure like want to play. I for sure know that I'm going to ruin my ankles, though. Like, something happens where in my brain I'm going to have, like, oh, I could fucking cross this guy up. But if I don't duct tape my fucking ankles the night before, I'm going to be in trouble.
You need a little extra structure, a little support on them ankles.
I'm going to need, like, a splint or two just to kind of, like, keep them straight. I don't know, man. It's
all you can do is just know that you got to push your body till its absolute limit, and then for 3 weeks your quads are going to be sore.
Oh,
so
I already anticipated, but I'm going to win this fucking tournament.
Do any of them know you can play basketball?
You know what? We actually had a basketball hoop in the warehouse the other day. Like probably like a couple months ago. It was for some sort of.
You work at Dunder Mifflin?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It was like for like an event that happened. I don't really remember.
You're playing against the warehouse?
But yeah, like I was like walking by and somebody like threw me the ball, and I'm gonna be honest, I made like 7 or 8 in a row after missing 2 or 3 in a row. But somebody was like, "Hey, he's got a pretty good shot," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking awesome. When are you guys gonna fucking understand that?" Like,
I was the varsity starting shooting guard. Okay,
exactly. So I think I'll be all right, but I don't know. I'll probably have to like play with like Steph, and not that she's bad, but she's also 5'1", so.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll.
So is Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be in trouble. So, but no, I'm looking forward to it. But just knowing that I'm going to be in pain and not be able to walk right for the next 2 or 3 years because of it.
Damn.
Yeah,
that makes me want to play basketball. I can't shoot well. luckily I don't have perfect form because for the people watching, or I guess, and if you're listening, I'll try to explain it. But if I'm like going from the side, if I'm like pledging my allegiance to a certain German dictator, then I can lift my arm all the way up. You know what I'm saying? I can raise my hand.
Yeah.
But if I bring the elbow in, that's literally as high as I can get it, dude. Yeah, it just like freezes because I could push it up. But there's like no strength.
That's weird.
I think it's a legitimate problem. Like, I've been downplaying it. I'm like, yeah, I probably tore my rotator cuff. There's some damage in that shoulder. And I'm almost positive it's because when I was drunk on vacation, I went into the ocean in the Dominican Republic, and it was like, compared to the Gulf of Mexico is like Sawyer, and the Dominican Republic, the ocean and the Dominican Republic is like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was like picking me up and suplexing me into the sand under the water. And I'm pretty sure I should have just stayed home and not gone on vacation. But
that's probably true, dude. The water does not
Happy birthday, Shan.
care. So
yeah.
I hurt my ankle
terrifying.
one time, and I didn't really do anything about it for like 2 years, and I just limped for like 2 years. And eventually I was like, I think something might be wrong, and I went to the doctor, and the guy was like, how'd you hurt your ankle? And I was like, no fucking idea. I'm like, it happened 2.5 years ago. I have no idea. And then he basically was like, typical man. I was like, yeah, you're a man too. Yeah. Should we high five or hug it out? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
He was like, he just gave me like crutches and was like, stay off of it. And I was like, oh, cool. How much is this going to be? He's like, $1,100. I'm like, wow, holy fuck.
Like I could have grabbed 2 branches off a tree and just fucking.
Dude, that was my my first time as like an adult going to something like that. And then that was also my first time as an adult realizing I'll never have to go to the doctor again because I'm not paying for fucking $11 Tylenol at this point.
Man, here's the deal. And it's taken me a long time to get my credit back to where it is now, which isn't great, but it's much better than it was. Yeah. And it set me back a little bit. Luckily, I'm a single dad and have to rely on my mom to, keep a roof over my head. Yeah. But it's like, but it's like, if you just don't pay the bills for like 10 years, they disappear, dude. Yeah, so, and that goes for student loans.
Yeah.
I paid about $40 of my student loans, and that's it. And now they're gone. Some say student loan forgiveness. I say buy a house and then stop paying your student loans. Like, you don't need credit anymore. So, if you could just take my advice.
You realize that so many times in this podcast, we will describe something, and then as you're describing it or I'm describing it, we realize that it's not as good as we wanted it to sound, and just continue to follow. Oh, man. I remember, I think it was like episode like 4. I can't remember, but you were like, I'm bald. I'm overweight. I don't know why I started this sentence. It was so fucking funny.
I hate to laugh that hard at one of my jokes.
Oh, God, it was really fucking funny. But anyway,
man.
We're a half hour in. It's time for you to ask a question.
You ready for some mind-blowing facts?
Yeah.
I sure am.
Yep, we are.
I sure am. And mine is mind-blowing.
Is it?
Okay.
Mine's?
Yeah.
I like mine, but sometimes I have that feeling and it just won't. It doesn't really relate. So I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first. Mine's fun. It's going to be fine either way. Right. So you go first. Let's see what you got. It better be good.
All right.
Okay, no pressure.
All right.
Don't fuck it up.
My semi-interesting thing is, you know how people say like, oh, that's in the middle of nowhere. Well, that's a cool phrase that people say, but it's also a place that we could determine on the earth, right? It's in the South Pacific Ocean, and it's called Point Nemo. And
Point Nemo,
it is literally the farthest like thing away from civilization, like in the world, like thousands of miles, like over 1,000 miles of distance between the closest landmass or anything around it. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. It's crazy.
I'm gonna have a panic attack just thinking about it.
Nothing lives there aside from maybe like a couple of bugs or a bird that's just like, God, I'm tired of flying. I don't know, but I was expecting, like, as I was reading this, I was expecting them to be like, yeah, the tribe that lives there, like, holy shit. It's super small, which I also have a problem with. Like, is it really worth like charting on a map if it's like a basketball, courts square footage? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of
exactly.
Anyway. It's over 1,000 miles from civilization. It's pretty cool. If you happen to be on that island, there's a good chance that the closest humans to you are on the International Space Station, because they're only like 230 miles in the air. So
wow,
that part was like, oh, that's really cool. I scroll down.
That is cool. That's fucking crazy.
I scroll down a little further and I see this YouTube video that's embedded in like the website. It's called The Bloop. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So apparently in 1997, scientists and people that have nothing better to do with their fucking time were recording like underwater sounds. Like, I don't know how you get that fucking job. That seems ridiculous to me. But they were like 3,000 miles away from this area, and they charted this sound that literally, I swear to God, sounds like bloop. That's all it sounds. That's literally what it sounds
3,000
like.
miles away?
Yeah, and they said because of like the distance, and they could, track it. I think they had 2 or 3 microphones, so they were able to like sonar detect where it came from. Very, very close to that area. And they were like, that's one of the loudest sounds we've ever recorded, like, in that area. What the fuck would have made that noise? Nothing lives there, like, other than maybe, something in the ocean, obviously. And then there's, do you know who Cthulhu is?
It sounds so familiar, but refresh my memory.
H.P. Lovecraft is an author. He wrote some really fucking weird shit about like monsters.
Cathulhu?
Yes.
Cthulhu?
Yep, Cthulhu.
Is it?
He's
okay.
He's like a winged monster with like tentacles for his face.
Why not?
Terrifying. Literally terrifying.
Why not?
The story is like, if you like make eye contact with him, you like go insane, and he like lives in the ocean, and then he comes out, and the whole thing is fucking terrifying. Anyway, the exact like coordinates for Point Nemo are like 49 degrees south, and whatever the the exact coordinates are. In the Call of Cthulhu, which was written in like the 1920s, the coordinates that he gives as like this potential area where he lives is super fucking close to that area. It's like in the South Pacific, super creepy. And like the moment I read that, I was like, all right, I want to stop reading. I don't want to read this anymore. He's like a giant. It's not like a fucking like crab that comes out of the ocean, like a giant thing. But they all were like, I mean, we probably assume it was like a iceberg that like fucking fell off and made this noise, but it could also be the worst monster of all time that we may or may not know is correct. But that was also interesting about this. But the real thing that basically is in that general area are every fucking spaceship that we've ever shipped to space, because when it crashes,
that's where it
crashes, because there's nothing else over there. So they like they were like, listen, let's not crash it in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Like, there's people around there. So let's go in the middle of the fucking Pacific Ocean. But
that's crazy.
Point Nemo, which literally Nemo stands for no one, I guess, in like, I don't know, Greek or something.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah. It's also known as the Oceanic Point of Inaccessibility. Which is like mouthful to fucking say.
I wouldn't know what that's like anyway.
But yeah, that's my semi-interesting thing.
Here are my 2 initial thoughts, because I'm a fucking idiot. But my initial thought when you were like the bloop, 3,000 miles away, I imagined like a team of scientists on a boat, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, on starboard or whatever boat terms, port that makes the swab the poop deck or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all like sitting around a computer with headphones on, and they're like, "Did you hear that? What the hell was that? Johnson, where's Johnson?" And they look up, and there's like one of their guys just has his pants down, and he's like pooping over the side of the boat, and he just made like a bloop into the water.
Johnson again.
And they were like, quit shitting in the ocean, Johnson. Something like that.
For real.
And secondly, you said tentacles on his face.
Yeah.
Which, this is pretty fucking weird, but like, how good would a hand job be from like a squid or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could just pop those suction cups on there.
Yeah.
And their skin is like jelly.
Squids have like a weird like hand thing, like a cuppy weird thing at the end of their tentacles too. So I'm assuming.
So they could
probably
cup the balls.
Yeah.
They could get a suction cup on each testicle, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we bought pocket pussies?
I do remember that. Sorry, Mom. Yes.
Is this a good time to bring it up, do you think?
It's fine.
They were talking about fleshlights last night, and I was like, oh, yeah, I bought a pocket pussy once. And they're like, you did? I was like, yeah, me and Jordan. They're like, you shared it? I was like, yeah, we got stuck in it like a fucking Chinese finger torture jail or whatever. We had to push them together to get them out. Very similar to a situation that we won't talk about. Anyways, my fact is not as in-depth as yours. Yeah. But it's interesting. And it's mind-blowing.
Okay.
Ding.
There we go.
That was me winking at you.
Sure.
So the world record for which one do I say first? Because they're both impressive, but one is more impressive than the other one for me. So we'll say the world record for the amount of female orgasms in a single hour. I'd ask you to guess, but I'm just gonna lay it on you.
Yeah.
134.
I don't. Who's doing that?
Well, first of all, when you Google woman has 134 orgasms in 1 hour, you would be surprised at the videos that pop up. Okay, not journals from doctors.
Oh, okay.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I tried to do a little more research into it, and it was all pretty vague. But they did say that it was like a setting. Yeah, very sticky. Did she die? Like she had to be like dehydrated or something, right? Afterwards,
I think I've seen one of those like TLC shows where somebody like is super, I don't know, super sexual. I don't know, and they just have like orgasms all the time, and they're like, it's the worst thing ever. Which sounds funny to hear, but for real, that would suck. Like I don't even know what the fuck you would do in your day. Somebody'd be like, "Hey, your grandpa's dead," and you'd be like, "1 second."
Oh my God, Grandpa! Oh my God, Grandpa! Oh God, fuck me harder. They're like, yeah, hi, could I get a number one with a large Coke with onion rings instead of fries.
You okay, ma'am?
This one, yeah. Although the number is way less. The male orgasm one is like way crazier to me, dude.
I don't want to hear of it.
It's not like 100 or anything. It's 16
in 1
hour.
There's no way. For sure. There's no fucking way.
Oh, listen. Every now and then, I'm home alone. You might be able to get off 2 in an hour if you're like bookends. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like at 2:01 and then 2:55. Like those are, 16?
Is it just like
oh my God.
It's there's no way.
You get a hernia. Yeah. You'd get a hernia, man. I don't know.
I feel like after the 15th one, you'd be like, all right, let's go, little guy. And he'd literally look up at you and be like, no.
I think that
no.
I think that the term man has to be loose, because if that kid's older than like 14, there's no way. Maybe a 14. I don't know.
Who's charting this? Who's like, listen, we need you to, 16 times. We have no material for you. Good luck.
And exactly. What Craigslist ad were people like, oh, they want to watch me masturbate. It's for science. I'm sure that's legit. I better go check it out,
I'm sure there's somebody listening to this right now that's like, 16? I could beat that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Drop it in the comments the most times you've masturbated in an hour. So
I feel like Matt probably would have done done some damage, right?
That's exactly who I was thinking of when you said that. Yeah, so
yeah, that's hilarious. Dude. Oh, that's disgusting.
It's like sometimes bussing quick can be a blessing, and it's when a doctor needs you to.
I imagine
do it 16
the
times
only
in an
place
hour.
that you could do that with enough peace and quiet and like focus is in Point Nemo. Like you'd be there by yourself. All right, let's do this. 16 to go, and I could fucking get out of here. That's how you get off the island.
You'd finish number 15, and you're like laying down, and there's like 10 minutes left in the hour for some reason, and you can't move, and you're just like, I can't go again. And then all of a sudden fucking Cthulhu pops up out of the ocean with suction cups on his face, and he's like, leave it to me, big dog.
Hold on. This is where I wish our podcast was like way more popular, because we could have like a cartoonist do that for us. Oh, that would be fucking amazing. Like a little montage or a little cartoon of exactly what we're talking about.
Of a big, scary Stranger Things monster with suction cup instead of teeth on its face.
Cthulhu is
sucking my dick.
Literally terrifying. I don't know why, but it's something about the ocean. The ocean fucking scares me in general, because you just don't know what is going on down there. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird like creature. He's like a giant monster with like wings, but he has like a octopus face somehow. I don't know. It's creepy. Yeah. If you like Google it, people like artists have done like renditions of what they think it is, blah blah blah, and like all of them are scary. Like I don't like looking at it, but morbidly I like looking at it because I'm like, ooh, what can titillate me right now? You know what I mean?
That's a coincidence because morbidly I'm obese. So sorry, I just popped in my head.
No.
I just watched. Like we were saying, I was reminiscing on when I enjoyed Joe Rogan, and so I was watching some old interviews.
Yeah.
Like the Jamie Foxx interview's great. I watched some Graham Hancock because even though I have no idea what's real or not, the idea of Göbekli Tepe, meaning that there's other civilizations out there and places where it's possible that there was more advanced technology 12,000 years ago and blah, 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 blah. It's so interesting.
Yeah. Graham Hancock is really like a good speaker as well. Like he speaks so like elegantly that you like he could literally tell you lies and I'd be like, I don't know. I believe him. He's British.
Well,
I think so.
It's seriously. First of all, I think the accent's fake, but that's not. I mean, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's neither here nor there. See, I could do it too. I sound super British, mate.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yes.
But I watched the one where they had the mainstream archaeologist on, and they were debating
the Skeptic magazine guy.
Maybe, and it also had the other crazy looking guy,
Randall Carlson,
the big guy. Yeah. Who the video I watched is like 20 minutes. And for the first 17 minutes, you don't even realize he's there because he's just like listening.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'll say my piece. And then just like backed up with information from journals for 3 minutes straight. I'm like, I wish I could just be this smart.
Randall Carlson, I think, is more of like an Egyptologist type guy.
Yeah.
And Graham Hancock is just like a everything guy. So yeah, dude, that shit is interesting to me. We actually, the other day, Steph asked me, which is not necessary, but she wanted to try out like that Paramount Plus network, whatever the fuck it is, that streaming thing. Like she texted me and she's like, can we try it? And I'm like, I'm not your dad. Fucking do whatever you want. Like this is weird.
You make money.
Yeah, I was like, how much is it? $7? Whatever, figure it out.
Please, daddy.
Yeah,
sorry,
I was like,
don't get a boner. Like, don't get a boner.
Whatever. So anyway, she's like, no, it's got really good stuff on it, I think. So we're looking, and she's watching some Dallas Cowboys cheerleader show that is enthralled her at this point.
That's on Paramount?
It is, yeah.
All right. Remind me to download it.
But she's like, she tries to like convince me that it's a good idea. She's like, oh, look, there's documentaries. I'm like, I get it. I like nerd stuff sometimes, but there's a Smithsonian channel on there. And the first thing I selected was like it was like a picture of like a pharaoh, and it was like the name of the show was like Secrets or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that for sure.
Shit.
I click it on.
Oh, shit.
I click it on. I don't even remember what they fucking said, but I saw Göbekli Tepe like from the, and I was like, Göbekli Tepe. Like it was like that fucking meme with fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like pointing towards the TV. That's literally what I was like.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned. I'll watch that show every day of my life because it's so fucking interesting, man.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I feel like we've mentioned Göbekli Tepe so many times on this pod, and when I say so many times, like 4.5. But somebody, please, that is listening, go Google that and just look at it.
We should. Hey, next podcast, let's just break it down. I mean, I think a lot of people, including me, enjoy like information, right? Sure. And so one of my main things about podcasts, that's what I love about the Mind Blowing Fact and the Fuggin Idiots, is because we can talk our shit and we can do our our normal podcast that doesn't matter or just doesn't have any rhyme or reason, but we're gonna get to some real hard info. And I think that for me at least, that's what I like as well.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we can maybe talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
The one that fucked me up, which is my thoughts on the ocean with what you're talking about with what is his name, chlamydia or whatever his name
Cthulhu.
Is Cthulhu is the Bob Lazar episode where he talks about, because I never watched the whole thing. I don't know if I was just like nervous. Sometimes I get like you ever get like weirdly nervous about stuff that doesn't matter at all?
Just looking at a picture of Cthulhu, I'm like, I have been on the internet too long today. I don't want to do this anymore.
My skin is crawling right now, and it's like I already watched the Bob Lazar episode. We're done talking about catheter, and it's like I'm just like, anyway, listening to him talk about like spaceships and what could be, whether he's right or wrong, I don't know, or lying or not. It seems like a lot of his shit has been backed up by some credible things. It's just super weird and creepy. But it's like, why are we looking for aliens? We have them in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like maybe Cthulhu isn't real, but it's like there's giant squids, right? Like there's terrifying things. You go deep enough in the ocean, and there's things that you can see through their body.
No,
exactly. Me neither.
I actually
Will Smith on Disney.
I saw a video this week. It was something on Reddit. It was like an experiment to see if humans would fall for that angler fish thing, with the big light on top of his head.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I think it was like a Japanese TV show, which they are just producing the best quality shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Comics.
It's always
TV shows.
It's like what is the only thing I remember from like my childhood? That MXC show where like there were just people running into each other and like Wipeout before Wipeout. Anyway, so it was like something like that where a guy was sitting in a warehouse like at a table. The lights shut off completely. They have like, infrared lights so that they can, or a camera so that they can see what's going on. And then they had like a single, like they had all the set moved out of the way, and then a single light bulb, like kind of like very subtly opened up and lit up. And this guy like is looking at it like, what the fuck is that? So he like walks towards it. And first of all, I would have just quit. I don't know. I'm already scared talking about it. But he like walks towards it.
I don't like this at all.
He walks towards it, and you can see the entire set basically because of the infrared light through the camera. And so he walks towards the light. He walks onto a rug. There is a like huge cutout basically of like of a fish mouth to look kind of similar. And what happens is he gets close enough, and they pull the rug on him, so he falls, and they like pull him in basically. And it's just like to prove that like humans would have fallen for that eventually as well. And also, fuck that. I'm never going in the ocean. It's fucking terrifying.
Or to Japan. Fuck Japan at this point.
If you walked into a Japanese warehouse, you deserve it. That's what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking terrifying, dude.
I don't want to get too real. God, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm feeling like serious, but I just want to, give a shout out to Ukraine and kind of just say that I don't really understand politics or anything serious or that takes, us any brains or smarts to understand. Yeah. But, to the people that live there, the actual citizens, not the government, not the whatever Russia wants to acquire. You know what I mean? The real human beings that live there.
Yeah.
You know, well, our love is with you. If I wasn't fucking a dunce, maybe I'd be in the military and I'd be over there helping or something. But I'm a fat pussy, so I can't. And
Dude,
I don't have any money either. So quit asking.
I'm going to paraphrase the fuck out of this, but I did see a video this week of there's some lawyers on TikTok. There's like a girl and a guy. I think they're married. I don't really know if you've ever seen them, but the guy's like 7 feet tall, or the girl's 4'11". I don't know what's going on, but there's a height discrepancy.
That's perfect blowjob range. But let's get back to the seriousness.
But they kind of described like what's legal and what's not and whatever. And one of the videos I watched was like the nation of Ukraine, like they said that if you were from like 20 to 60, you had to like stay and fight, basically. Like you couldn't leave the country. Like I'm assuming it's men. I'm assuming because that's fair.
Because you're a chauvinist.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just saying.
Fuck?
That's fair.
It's hard being a man.
Yeah, like
especially a white one.
You can't show your fucking emotions. You got to fight the Russians. This is bullshit.
You know, we get paid more for the job. You know, it's like Anyway, go ahead.
It's so they were saying basically like that's a thing that is happening, and they showed like a video clip of like a dad like hugging his family, being like, you know, that would be absolutely brutal. But they also said that is a thing that could happen in the United States as well. In like our Constitution, I think it's between like 18 to 45. Like technically, we're a part of like the militia. If something happened and we needed to do something similar, we would be in the same boat. Which I don't think anybody would do that to us because we only spend money on military stuff. So, but dude, that was like for real. I was like, all right, well, I hope this ends soon. I don't want to be a part of that.
Compared to your like average American, I think that I am competent in hand-to-hand combat. Like you give me like just your average Joe American and I think I can hold my own.
Yeah.
But it's like, and so you see these memes of like, it's like, send me over there, I'd have it handled in a week. And it's like a monster can and a guy with Ray-Ban, or not Ray-Bans, Oakleys. Yeah. And like, you know what I mean? Camouflage pants and Marlboro Red cigarettes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that because I'm like, but on the other foot is like against some Russian special forces, dude. Because I'm like, I'll gas myself up. I'm like, if shit pops off and there's a draft, I can, you know what I mean? I'm not going to die. I can do it. But it's like,
I'll be the only guy at basic trainings. Like, does anybody want to hear about the story of the one time I farted and no? Okay, never mind. Okay, cool.
You guys ever heard of Göbekli Tepe or
Cthulhu? What are your thoughts?
For me, it's like if we had to fight China, it's like at least they're kind of small, you know, so I can stand a chance. Yeah. But Russians, I'm not. Khabib, what are we talking about here?
It's horrible. I don't know what. I'm with you, man. I don't understand really what's happening. I'm typically like on the fringe of knowing kind of what's happening around the world. Like I sort of do, but really don't invest my time into it. But like this week, I was like, man, I should have paid attention on Tuesday because something happened. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's kind of chaotic all of a sudden. I did see that Zelensky, like their president, he's like fighting with them.
Dude, did you hear his quote? It gave me the chills, man. My pee-pee pulled up inside of me when I heard it. I was so excited.
It was like somebody was asking him if he needed a ride out of there, right?
Biden was like, evacuate. Yeah, get out of there. They're trying to protect the president because then he can still be in charge when they eventually hopefully win.
When District 13 rises again, we can.
Yeah, literally.
For real.
Yeah, Katniss Everdeen. But this motherfucking has the spirit of Katniss because what he was like, I need ammo, not a ride.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, bro. And he's like an actor. He's not
he won their version of Dancing with the Stars. I saw a fucking clip of him today.
It's not General Patton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
dude.
But yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, love goes out to them. Apparently they're like holding their own currently. And imagine with the amount of people and resources that Russia has,
it's inevitable.
I don't know how long that. Yeah, like eventually.
Yeah.
It's like
Russia's fucking huge.
Thanos. It's so big, dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of the people there are against the war. They're like, what is the point of this, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of the old people side with Putin because he's offered them stability and you know. But anyway, it reminds me of Thanos when he's like, you know, we're gonna have to spill some blood, and he's like,
I'll do it
I've
myself.
got blood to spare.
Oh,
or no, when he's like, I've got blood to spare, and then those scary monsters, or maybe it's the alien lady that's scary that she's like, we've got blood to spare.
Yeah.
And those orc-looking gorilla motherfuckers start running out of the spaceships.
Yeah, dude.
That's how it feels. So.
It's terrifying. I heard another quote this week that made me get chills as well, because sometimes like. I'm all for America, right? I live here. You know, why not like it? But I'm not like fanatical, like where I wasn't in the military. I don't have any sort of like super strong like fuck yeah America. Like I don't really think of that all the time. But there was a video that was like a general, I'm assuming, and I have no idea when this was actually said, but the guy was like, "We don't want war. But if you want to start war with us, I can guarantee you somebody else will raise your sons and daughters." And I was like, whoa.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Bro.
And like the video that I saw was like a montage. So it's like this guy talking. It's probably had like some sort of like fucking Rocky music in the background. And like as soon as he said that, there was like a lion that appeared on screen. And then it just showed like a 2-second clips of every fucking defense thing that we have. It was just like bombers and fucking tanks and like all this shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, America. Like I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
I want to beat someone's ass right now, dude.
Yeah, I was like, man, that quote got me. I'm gonna fucking fight my neighbor right now. I don't know.
Literally.
I don't know.
If I wasn't scared of getting arrested for making a death threat, I'd say that shit to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to fight you, but if you want to fight me, someone else is going to be raising your sons and daughters. Me, because I'm going to have sex with your wife. Not your wife. Not your wife.
Yeah.
The hypothetical wife.
All right, guys. If you want to have sex with Robbie and have him raise your daughters, send him an email to fuckingidiotspod@gmail.com.
Perfect.
We're going to just end it now. We're going to get into some situations that we know even less about. And it's not going to
be girl dad.
Yeah.
So send us an email.
There you go. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Check us out on our socials.
I meant to mention this all podcast, and I did not mention it once. Last episode was episode 69, and we didn't reference it once.
Hey! Like dinner for two, baby.
I don't know what. Okay, we can mention it now. 70. Okay, we're on episode 70. Thank you guys for listening. We are just going to chug along until we get up to like 72 or so, and then we'll be done.
Yep.
So,
and then we'll quit forever. So,
sounds good.
Or for at least 2.5 months. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Adios. Peace.
Love you. Bye. Peace.
Happy or sad, it's story time with two fucking idiots.
So the other day, remember I mentioned to you that we never, like, we should maybe pose for the fucking thumbnail?
Yeah.
I told you that, and I wasn't recording.
Oh,
like later on, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
The funny thing is, there's probably, I don't know if you listen, but on GarageBand at the end, it's probably like, all right, let's pose right now. And then there's silence of us posing on GarageBand.
Yeah, for real. For real. So I'm going to make sure to do it this time because I just was like, God damn it. Yeah, that was a good episode, dude.
Yeah.
I felt like it transitioned pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Stuke sent me the videos, I think.
Oh, nice.
Via iCloud. Okay, add all to my library. Oh, shit, that's not bad. 10 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. So, yeah, we got like 17 minutes.
Nice. And
then at the end, he's like, how about a picture to add at the end? And this is, can you see it?
That's hilarious.
I'm like,
you look miserable.
Yeah. Trying to force a smile out. But yeah, it worked out good. Should we just, while we're rolling, should we just do the intro?
Yeah. What do we got? You want to do Stu? Don't we, Daddy?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Do you know which game it is?
They're on Uncle Wiggly right now, but I don't really necessarily know enough to talk about specifics, episodes and stuff. I just think we could just talk about like the fact that they're fucking going. What?
What?
I'm reading one of the reviews. It says pros and cons. Pro: 3 funny dudes take you through everything you loved and hated about childhood board games in the 90s. Gave me a genuine belly laughs with some of their great segments. Con: they talk about my brother's wiener like a lot. If you're a fan of Adam Sandler, this is a podcast for you. It's pretty funny.
Who said that?
I don't know. I'm assuming maybe one of Stuke's brothers.
Hilarious. Oh, no, they talk about Scott. Well, they do talk about Stuke's wiener, but remember they're always like Scott's 10-inch fucking hammer. Last night I was like, yeah, I shouldn't put this recording. Actually, I'll wait until we are done recording on GarageBand.
All right. Do we have any fucking reviews? I feel like we've gotten...
We'll mention that. We'll do like a little plug for us too.
We have literally like 2 reviews, basically. God, we suck.
Okay. We do suck. We'll put it in there.
All right. I just want to pull up, like, it's been 35 episodes, going strong, funny dudes. Although we did fucking say some mean things.
It'll be perfect because it happens right after we're gonna gas them the fuck up.
I really did plan on saying something nice, but I like had a brain fart, and I just was like immediately went to saying something mean.
I was gonna,
really
as soon
funny.
as you said the nice thing, I was gonna be like, I'm like, nah, really, it's just that they have the only good thing is that they're organized or whatever it was that you said.
Yeah.
And then you switched the script last second. It was fucking hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna hit record, and then let's do our fucking whatever.
Okay, here we go.
Thumbnail, ready?
Oh, thumbnail first?
Yeah, just that way I can just have it.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Hold on. I'm ready.
I don't know what we're gonna say.
Wait. Are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we good?
I think so.
Okay. All right, ready?
Maybe try to do one with your full head in the shot, if you can. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Am I good?
There you go. All right, we're good. Sorry, because like it cuts off, and then I'm like, it just looks so weird to have like
looks weird. Yeah.
So, all right.
Ready? Okay. This week on Don't Wake Daddy.
Oh no! I don't think they did Wipeout, but that's pretty close.
Pretty close. I tried.
This is weird.
I tried to just get a little crazy with it.
I didn't know where to go.
I just went for it. I'll save that for like halfway through the video.
All right, let me start it and stop it again.
Okay.
Happy or sad, it's story time